Welcome back, Halo followers. Today I want to make a case for Halo Infinite's comeback. Is it something that's even in the cards? And what needs to happen before Halo Infinite can really get on its 2 feet? Because how is it able to run if it is at a crawl right now? So we're going to be talking a little bit about some of y'all's comments, because I recently asked y'all to give me your input on if you think Halo Infinite can make a comeback. There is a lot of negativity right now regarding even Forge being enough, even this big mode by Certain Affinity that might be a conquest like Battlefront 2, Supremacy, or kind of Battle Royale-esque mode, something of that caliber. Is that even something? Are those things that can even bring Halo Infinite back from the quote grave right now? Now, I gotta say, I don't even think that Halo Infinite is quote dead. It is definitely, without a doubt, struggling, especially considering that the trend seems to indicate that we are only back in February's numbers as of this year for the population base, at least according to Steam. But the Xbox numbers, we don't have access to those, but it is likely the same. So we are only back to where February is, which is pretty much a 95% something decline from the day one, or whenever, the highest population count that Halo Infinite had since its release. So this is definitely, without a doubt, I'm sure y'all can all agree that if there is going to be a comeback, it is going to be probably a slow burn. And how that is probably going to be rolled out is through just adding enough content to get up to those original expectations. We didn't know that this game was going to be lacking so many of the features that Halo always has come with. It's kind of embarrassing that the game has released without things that are working properly, like a working theater in Forge mode and custom games. And that is something that came out 12 years ago with Halo Reach. It expanded upon Forge, it expanded upon all these features, and it all worked mostly well. I mean, yeah, Reach was controversial. All these games were controversial when they released. However, this game is just lacked without content. So the first thing that this game really needs is content. And the best way to do that is probably through Forge and a working custom games options menu, right? That is something that is very buggy, that is not really working, right? So those things definitely need to be tackled. And of course, I think later on, modding tools. It needs to catch up with those original expectations. The fact that this game has launched without those base features like Riftball, Infection, SWAT, a working custom games options menu, as well as Theater and Forge even being in the game or not, even though that is on the way here soon, these are all base features that need to just get the game up to snuff, right? The thing about Halo Infinite is that it is free to play. That means that the window for a revival and a comeback, I think, is open. I really haven't talked much about this, and it's something I would like to dive more into, but it's about the community just getting to a place, maybe toxic is the wrong word, but a place of very strong negativity. Even though it is justified, it is something that I think is starting to feed off each other, and is starting to become quite negative. So that's why I wanted to talk about this video and just remind y'all that Halo Infinite is not dead, that this game has a lot of potential. The fact that 343 skipped the loadouts this time, skipped all the gimmicks, and just went back to the base mechanics of Halo gameplay while adding equipment abilities makes this game have more potential than I think Halo 4 or 5 ever did. This is the most exciting, in a way, 343 game so far. Even though I know Halo 4 and 5 launched by this time with a lot more content, I just think that this game has the most potential long term. Although that is quite a large statement, because Halo 5 really did have quite a lot of success. I'm not a huge fan of the game. I disagree with a lot of the things they did. It doesn't make it a Halo game, but it, at the end of the day, was a pretty solid game. What we have here is kind of a mess, to put it honestly, right? This is kind of a mess. And This game needs to catch up. The very first thing that Halo Infinite needs to do right now is what 343's been doing so far, is just being transparent. I don't like how they released the Season 2 information so late. I don't like that the roadmap was so weird and kind of unspecific, even though that's why they didn't want to release it in the first place. There is obviously some kind of critical issue here, and I think it could be solved, honestly, and with modding tools. I think if they gave us the tools to make our own content, then I think that people could just create their own maps. And this game could really well be like Garry's Mod one day. You know, something that is like a platform for a lot of different game modes, a lot of scripting, a lot of features and stuff. So that might be unrealistic right now, but Forge is what we're really looking at. It is a user-friendly modding tool of sorts, because it's on a different level than the Forges we've seen so far. This is something that is going to give the community the ability to make good-looking maps. So far, from what we've seen from all the leaks and what we've heard, this has an entirely new scripting engine, which is going to allow people to create their own campaigns, create path nodes for bots, it seems. There's a lot of botting script codes in the Forge mode that we've seen so far. So Forge is definitely going to help a lot. There has been a lot of hesitancy to say that Forge will even save the game, that this big battle royale mode that is probably being developed by Certain Affinity, that might be kind of like Conquest, like Supremacy from from Battlefront 2, is even going to save the game. When Season 2 dropped, the population bumped up a little bit, but according to the Steam charts, if that trend is the same for the Xbox numbers, which we don't have access to, but the Steam charts indicate that we are only back in mid-February to late February numbers. This really isn't great, considering that Season 2 really doesn't have a whole lot to offer as far as content goes. It does have things that are coming eventually, like co-op campaign online. That is going to be coming in August. That's a target, I think. And then we also have September Forge mode. Beta, by the way. Just a beta. And that's just a target. So we really don't know when things are happening. So the critical issue here is that 343 needs to, basically, to sum it up, get their shit together. They need to figure out their staffing. They need to keep doing this good communication. And they need to kind of watch out for any future blunders. I mean, honestly, removing skill jumping was a really uncalled for thing. Changing the slides was a really uncalled for thing. And making sure that the game is running to the point where events aren't having trouble. And I'm sure at the end of the day, you guys already know a lot of this stuff, right? What I want to say here is that 343 needs to really peel back the layers of what the modern frustrated fan is feeling and why, and how they could fix that, all right? I think, for me, and I might be wrong about this, I think they need to, honestly, bring up the player count. Custom games and Forge is a culture that needs to be given life. It needs to be celebrated again. And the fact that is that this game is archaic at best. It's a buggy, archaic game. And first-person shooters really are not taken off like like a lot of games are right now. And Halo Infinite doesn't really push the envelope a whole lot. And that doesn't mean to add or make Halo 5 again, right? I don't think it needs to innovate on its gameplay a whole lot. I think adding new equipment items would be a great way to evolve Halo in a good way that respects the boundaries of what Halo gameplay is all about. But they need to start doing those things that people have been asking for a long time. Bring back Firefight, right? Bring back Infection. Infection is a high demand. We don't want events on modes that we can play on MCC right now. We want events on brand new modes that are really great, like Last Spartan Standing is a great addition to Halo Infinite, is a great start. And now what I'm going to say here is maybe a little controversial, but I think it's time for 343 to really start tackling those things that the Halo community wants, all right? Playable elites, flood Firefight, add freaking Battle Royale. I'll take it at this point, all right? add a customization system that rewards playtime more than this battle pass system. All right, it is too finicky. It's all over the place. The cores need to be fixed, which specifically about the cores they are working on and wanting to fix, but they should also bring back some classic maps. They need to bring in new vehicles. All right, and I'm not saying like older vehicles like from other Halo games. They need to bring brand new vehicles to this game. And most importantly, since this is a live service game, it needs to have consistent, meaningful, content-packed updates. All right, something on the level of what like Star Wars Battlefront 2 was doing in its heyday. You know, it did recover, and it was universally like the most hated game because it was kind of, you know, pay to win. And games like No Man's Sky have made a return. Games like Battlefront have made a return. And I think that as long as 343 keeps adding to this game, to Halo Infinite, it is going to be really solid and quite amazing. And I know it's like looking through a pinhole right now, but if you just bear with me, if you entertain your imagination a little bit, I think that Halo Infinite can be mind-blowingly awesome. And I gotta say real quick, I don't know if this narrative event thing that 343 has been investing time into is really going to be the right choice. We know Spartan Ops did not really work well. People just want good modes, good content, and I don't know if these story elements are really something that is terribly important for the growth of Halo. I think that they need to really focus on bringing those base features back into the game and start its journey on making it the most exciting Halo title that has the most to offer, right? So guys, maybe I'm a little bit naive. I've seen all the negative stuff over these past few months, half year and so on, and I'm just saying that I think it has incredible potential for a comeback. And we might not see that until late next year, maybe until 2024. I don't know, but as long as 343 keeps building on this game for many more years to come, and I'm talking about 6 years at least, then I think we have something really cool to look forward to. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you share my sentiment or you don't, let me know down in the comments below and why. And be sure to smash that like button blue. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one soon. Take care.